Welcome back, I'm Kevin O'Keefe. Are you afraid to go to school, worried about being teased and bullied? Well, in Toronto, the police want to know about it. In 1997, they started a program to make schools safer. Empowered Student Partnership, or ESP, is now in over 200 schools and works with 17 police divisions. Rebecca Tompkins is a consultant with the Toronto Police. Welcome to the show, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Explain to me briefly your role between the police and the schools. What exactly do you do?
I kind of act as a hub between the school boards and the police, and I'm a consultant for both, just kind of helping manage the program across the city.
And tell me how exactly the program works.
It started up in 1997 as kind of an initiative to get youth involved with safety issues in their school and also connect them to the police. So
I guess in the past the police weren't necessarily the friends of the students in the school, and there was some animosity, I guess, between both.
Yeah, and they look to build that up, right? So to create that connection more easily. And so this program has built that up over the years, and now we're up to 200 schools, like you had said.
The thing that impressed me about the program is how serious the Toronto Police are taking safety in schools, especially bullying.
Yeah.
Can we talk a bit about that, why that's such an important issue for the police?
I think that the police recognize that there needs to be some level of not only reactive policing, but proactive policing.
What do you mean?
Well, if you look at police getting involved from this stance of let's get in there before something happens, instead of just coming to the schools when something's already gone down, they want to be in there ahead of time and kind of giving this positive reinforcement, do good things in your school and good things will happen. And so this connection that they've built up is them recognizing that proactive policing is necessarily the way to go in order to get community involved in the safety issues that are important to them.
We talked about bullying in the last segment. Can you give me a sense of the areas that the program addresses?
It could be anything from bullying to drunk driving to male-on-male violence, female-to-female violence, relationship violence. It could go into even issues around drugs. There's different issues that every school will face, and they do a survey at the start of the year in order to determine what issues are the top issues at their school so that they can, choose which events they want to do from there.
And how, you mentioned this relationship between police and students. How important is it to get the students involved in the program or running the program?
I think that's kind of the key to it. It really operates as the successful stance that you are getting the people involved that are going to be affected by what this program does. So if they're the ones who are leading the charge in trying to overcome these issues that all youth are facing in their school, then they're the ones who will actually be changed by it, not only by doing the action, but by the reaction that the community has, that the school community has to the events and the activities that they undertake.
You said over 200 schools, or I said over 200 schools, 70 police divisions. Can you give me a sense at a typical school how many students would be involved, how many teachers, how many police? How does it all sort of work?
Yeah, at a typical school you would look at probably about 15 students in the group. And, some schools have gone all the way up to 100 students that are involved with the program. No, it gets huge in some schools. They really run with it, but there's usually a police officer or two that are assisting, that are providing their input, that are attending monthly meetings, that are coming out to the school on a regular basis just to touch base. And there's some schools that actually have school resource officers that operate just within the school. And so they're the ones who are actually doing the work on a daily basis.
So there's a police person at the school all the time?
Exactly.
Every day?
Yeah.
You mentioned all the different areas from drug abuse to safety in schools, to bullying, violence. Can you give me an idea of how the program would address some of those issues? What's an event they would have, or how do they address that sort of topic at a school?
Well, they really look to either get youth involved or bring in the experts or both. So it could be anything from running like a band fest where they have a whole group of bands that come out and play, and then they have a group of these community partners that come in, set up stands, and the kids can peruse them and get information on drugs and drunk driving and all this sort of stuff that would be pertinent to them. But it could be something as well where they bring in a guest speaker or somebody who has experience with it to really impact them in a personal way and just to do a presentation for the group. And they could do anything like workshops or plays. There's all kinds of things they do.
Maybe you've just answered it, but I'm wondering in terms of bullying, because that's sort of a focus of this show, what sort of resources are there for people being bullied or the school addressing that sort of issue?
The resources are broad for bullying especially. It depends on what school you're at. The ESP program operates as in bullying is probably one of the top issues that we face across the city. So if you look at bullying, they probably have programs that they've implemented in the school where students can either access information to get help, to speak with somebody about it anonymously or in person at the school. And they also look at ways to perhaps get the police involved and how to help them find the appropriate evidence in order to move forward with any bullying charges.
And what advice would you, in the last segment we heard when the mother went to the principal and to the school, she was just told boys will be boys. If someone has been fed that line at a school, what advice would you give them?
I think that, people really need to get involved and push the limits and really find out what other ways or routes there are to get help and find solutions. And within Toronto especially, we have so many community resources that you can access that if the school is giving you a brick wall or you're having difficulty getting through to administration, I think that you need to think broader, get outside the school and look at different ways to perhaps get organizations involved in the school that could make a difference in a different way. Just take a different route.
And if somebody wants to try and do that, if they're watching somewhere else in Canada, they want to know more about the Toronto Police Program or ESP in general, is there a resource, a website, or somewhere they can go to find out more information?
We have esponline.ca, which is, our place where we can connect with people, all of the schools, and also we have resources that will access that information from there and request to become part of our recommended resources in the program. So people who are interested can always go there.
Terrific. Well, thank you very much for coming in and addressing this issue in a very serious manner, because I think it is an important issue.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, up next, does ESP work? We'll hear what students have to say after this.